Netflix is joining GM's electric movement. Now, should they add EVs everywhere?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not! Disregard! Not gonna do it. Get this thing out of here. Let's go do some stranger things.
You're weird.
I'm not weird, you're weird. Who rides a green bike? Oh, hello, hi. Are you busy? Can I just ask you a quick question? Do you know how to get back to the 15? I think I took a wrong turn at that twisted piece of metal. You know what? I'm good. You have a great one, all right? Stupid zombie. You know what I was thinking? In a way, we all wear masks. Does that resonate with you? Is there a Mrs. Circle? I don't mean to pry. You know what? You don't have to answer.
What is wrong with me?
Nothing, sweetie. You're perfect. Right, Will?
No. No one's ever really perfect.
Wow.
I didn't realize you were engaged. That's great. That's why you're in Vegas. Oh, you're gonna get married. Okay. General Motors is going electric, and Netflix is joining in by including more EVs in their movies and shows. It's the least they can do. So if you're gonna get swarmed by an army of the dead, why not get swarmed in an EV? No! I said no biting. Or if you're being voluntarily kidnapped, why not be kidnapped in an EV? What's that scent? Is it pine? Now, should they add EVs everywhere? They shalln't. They shan't. Is it shallant or shan't?
It's neither.
What about here, Erica?
You're ruining the show, you idiot.
What do you mean? It's me, Dusty.
You're not.
Yeah, you're right. This is ridiculous.
Tammy, wait!
Later, loser.
But anywhere else it makes sense.
There goes another runner.
Brad was so much better for you. You should have gone with Brad.
Yeah, Brad.
Are you serious?
Why not make more of those cars electric? Vanessa. It's the least they can do. Gordon, you kill me. I mean, you literally did kill me. You know what? I'm glad you bit me too. General Motors is going electric, and Netflix is joining in by including more EVs in their movies and shows. Swarmed by zombies? Ouch! EV. Kidnap? EV. Here? Wrong era. Not here either.
You're ruining the show, you idiot.
I said not here, Erica.
Later, loser.
There goes another runner.
But anywhere else it makes sense? Why not make more of those cars electric? It's the least they can do. You kill me. I mean, you literally did kill me.
Should have seen this coming. A stampede unleashed 55 years ago. An icon built for freedom, the open road, power, and rebellion. And just when you think you know where they're going, they do something unexpected.
Something that moves us all forward.
And holds nothing back.
The all-electric Mustang Mach-E. The newest member of the family.
Should have seen this coming. A stampede unleashed 55 years ago. Built for freedom, power, and rebellion. And just when you think you know where they're going, they do something unexpected.
Something that moves us all forward.
And holds nothing back.
The all-electric Mustang Mach-E. The newest member of the family.
It's the Mustang Mach-E, and I can't think of another Ford since the original Mustang which has the potential to transform the brand as much as this. But while the original Mustang was born in JFK's space age, This one lands in Elon's space age.
Built on an all-new platform, Ford's first mainstream electric car is available with either a 76 or 99 kilowatt-hour battery, and with either a single motor or twin motor layout with between 250 and 330 horsepower. Claimed range is up to 370 miles, making it one of the longest haul electric cars around. Prices start at £40,000, and rivals include the Polestar 2 and Tesla Model Y.
But this is not just a Mustang. It's got to show Ford's electric direction for the future and lay a track for everything else to follow. Let's see if it's any good. Right, I'm going to give you a tour of the Mach-E, but we're going to go that way, but I have to come this way to start with to open up the bonnet and show you what's underneath, because in this lovely long bonnet here, there's room for a lovely V8. There's no V8, in fact there's nothing really except a bit of space. They've put a drain hole in so you can put your wet clobber in there. Come along the sides, we've got a charging port for the car is here. Mostly self-explanatory these days. There's a little button there to release the cable when you're done. No door handles anywhere along here. Instead, you've got a little button, and if you just press it, the door pops open a few inches, and then you just pull it with the lever. There's also, can you see all these buttons on here? There's the option of having PIN code entry. I'm not sure it's legal in Europe at the moment, but Ford are also saying that it teams with your phone, so you can actually have entry from your phone, so you don't even need the key in the first place. Same here, again, button release for the back door. Press it, pops open a couple of inches, in you get. The roofline drops away a little bit here, you can see, so it's got this illusion of being like a coupe when the actual roofline stays higher, which is useful for when you open the boot. And open, there it goes, carry on. And you've got a big old boot in there that's actually a reasonable size. It's not like an estate, it doesn't come out to here and give you lots of nice square area, but you've got a lot of floor space, and if you open it up, you've got charge cables under there. So like any other electric car, it's super simple to drive. So the first thing you need to do with the Mach-E is get your modes straight. So at the moment we're in active, which is regular, then you have whisper, which is quiet and smooth, and untamed, which is what we're going to go for, which as it sounds is the sportiest one. In America that's called unbridled. So you can play with the sound. You've got propulsion sound setting here, which I've just engaged, and can you hear that? They say that it is inspired by 80s sci-fi cinema. I say it's inspired mostly by a fairly plain V6. It's a Mustang, right? So the most important thing is how it drives. So on sweeping roads, it's actually really nice. It's very planted and stable. You don't get too much roll into it. It just behaves itself. It glides along quite nicely. It's a slightly different story at low speed. When you slow down in it, the ride does get a little bit more lumpy. It's a little bit less pleasant around town. They've obviously gone to make it quite a sporting setup, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all. There's more edge in here than there is in a Tesla, but not than a Polestar. The Polestar is quite sharp. There will be a GT along in due course, which they're saying is going to have 480 horsepower, and they are targeting 3.5 seconds to 60 miles an hour. It's going to be a quick car. This is plenty quick enough. It really does get up and go. Look, I'll slow down a bit to like 20 miles an hour and clog it. There you go, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's quick. But of course, being an electric car, you don't get much sensation of the engine or anything having to work very hard. It's very calm and placid. I like the way it goes down a road, and I didn't think I would. I thought it was going to behave much like any other 2 and a bit ton electric crossover. But actually, there is a bit more to it than that. I quite like the way it steers though. It's not trying to be aggressively sporty when you turn it in. It's just got decent response, but when you get on the power out of the corner, it tries to send the power to the back first. It's a little bit involving. You'll get a bit of slip at the back axle. It's greasy and cold out there, so maybe that's not surprising, and it's not going to do it on a dry summer road, but at least it's doing something interesting. I think it's a really well judged car, this. I think if you're not interested in driving, you'd get into it and find it perfectly easygoing and good-natured. And if you do enjoy your driving, I think you find there's enough sort of bite and edge in it just to get something out of it. But let's not pretend that it's a Mustang as we know it and love it. It's a very different type of car. This is a crossover that happens to drive quite cleanly and nicely.
The Mach-E is relatively efficient. In cold, wet weather, it covered 3 miles for each kilowatt of charge consumed, which is more than we've got from any rival bar a Tesla, and equates to a range of over 260 miles. No, not the 332 miles Ford claims, you'll notice, but if you want more range, go for the rear-wheel drive car with the big battery.
Welcome to the inside of the Mach-E. So, the seats are really comfortable, but it's a Mustang. You expect a bit more bolstering and a bit of a sort of sportier wraparound feel, and you haven't really got it. But it doesn't matter because you are comfortable. The steering wheel and driving position is nice and natural, and you're sat up at SUV level. There's a screen here, but that just gives you your information and your warnings. You haven't got any control over that. And you've got a lot of storage as well. There's a big tray here, and the big tray's got an induction charging pad for your phone built in. And there's another one underneath it, and some cup holders, and an armrest here which flips up, and you've got a big storage area under there. You're well catered for. You've got nothing to worry about in that regard. Some nice materials around though, although there's quite a lot of different materials. You've got a bit of carbon, you've got some leather, you've got some fabric. That's actually a Bang & Olufsen soundbar across the dash there.
Headroom and legroom is decent in the back, and because the floor is flat, even the central passenger doesn't have much to complain about.
So that's the interior, and it's fine and functional and quite easily understood and easy to get on with. But really, when you're interacting with the car, you're coming into the screen. Now, it's a really clever thing. It partners with your phone, and there's a load of apps and things that you can use. But I want to concentrate on a couple of bits and pieces. One of which is up here, it says afternoon suggestions. So the car learns how you use it, what you tend to do, this sort of thing, and then we'll change the suggestions in this top bar for what it thinks you're going to need or want. So for instance, dynamic park. It's probably worked out that I've got 48% of battery left, and I'm probably going to need some charge at some stage, and this can help take me there. It'll ping up and show us, yeah, there you go, some car parks nearby that have charging. But then we come into some other things. So trips, this is the one I like. So the trip computer is actually labelled, where did my energy go? Well, I didn't really appreciate this, but 11% of the battery use so far has been for the climate control. 73% has been for driving, 12% has been for exterior temperature, which I guess means just managing the battery pack because it's only about 5 degrees centigrade outside. I showed you the driver controls earlier between active, whisper and untamed. Untamed. If we come down the other side, there's a bit here for driver assistance. And if you go into the settings for driver assistance, they are endless. You are here for as long as you'd want. There's pre-collision assistance, rear camera views, blind spots, wrong way alerts, cross traffic alerts. They go on right down. This traction control right at the bottom, but because they're assuming that no one will ever want to go near it, or at least they're trying to hide it away. But a lot of this stuff is actually, it works, but it's a bit frustrating like it is in any other car. If I come up a couple, there's the charge area, and there you can look at how much charge you've got in the battery and also sort the timings out so you only charge when the electricity's cheaper or whatever else. When you're driving along with a touch screen, it's difficult. What you actually need to do is park up, get your settings right, and then leave it alone. Who builds this car? Ford, right? Show me the Ford badge. It's not there. No Ford badge there, that's another horse. Mach-E there, no. Haven't missed anything else on the sides, and no, nothing on the back either. And in fact, you're not going to find a Ford badge anywhere on the Mach-E, and that's cool for the Mach-E because it's got the Mustang branding, and that's great and interesting and a bit cooler. But where does it leave the future of Ford's electrified products?
Prices start at just over £40,000 for the entry-level car with rear-wheel drive and the smaller battery, and rise to £57,000 for the long-range all-wheel drive car you see here. It's the entry-level car that looks the best value. With a 0 to 60 time of 6.1 seconds, it's not slow, and the claimed 280-mile range is respectable. And on Ford's finance, putting £5 down, you'll be paying £470 a month over 3 years, rather than over £800 for its bigger brother.
So what do we think of the Mach-E? Well, look, it's got the Mustang detailing and it's got the Mustang badge. But actually, that's all a bit of a distraction. This is Ford's new electric crossover. And if you think about it like that, it's actually very good indeed.
The real revolutionaries the ones that change the game forever. Understanding strength is never enough. Evolving, imagining, seeing the world not as it is, but how it could be. That's how true greatness is realized. That is how you change the world.
Introducing the world's first all-electric supertruck, the revolutionary GMC Hummer EV. With no limits, no emissions, and no equals, it will leave everything you thought possible in a cloud of dust. The quiet revolution begins with a nearly silent all-electric propulsion system that offers 1,000 horsepower, 11,500 pound-feet of torque, and for the brave souls who dare to engage watts to freedom, the thrill of accelerating 0 to 60 in approximately 3 seconds. The innovation continues with the next generation of Super Cruise, a driver assistance feature that offers hands-free driving with automatic lane changing on compatible roads. And for remarkable driving precision, Hummer EV is engineered with segment-exclusive four-wheel steering to reduce turning radius and enhance overall maneuverability. Want the leading edge of electric vehicle technology? We engineered the Detroit-built Hummer EV with Ultium batteries and drive units to maximize energy storage for an estimated range of 350-plus miles. And with 800-volt DC fast charging up to 350 kilowatts, you can charge nearly 100 miles in just 10 minutes. Things get even more revolutionary when you head off the pavement, because off-road dominance is engineered into every aspect of the GMC Hummer EV. It all starts with towering ground clearance, made possible by specially engineered 35-inch tires for an optimal balance of on- and off-road performance. And it's 37-inch tire capable for those who demand even more. With customizable drive modes, Hummer EV puts a whole new level of off-road mastery at your fingertips. Want to take on the toughest obstacles? Initiate the available first-of-its-kind Extract mode, and Hummer EV activates its adaptive air ride suspension to lift approximately 6 inches. That's revolutionary breakout capability. For driving information in real time, UltraVision offers a segment-leading number of camera views with up to 18, including underbody forward and rear-facing cameras. So you can enhance performance, maximize capability, and leave the world behind. But we didn't stop there. With a revolutionary new setting called Crab Walk, Hummer EV has the ability to drive diagonally for an agility no other truck can match. And full underbody armor and rock sliders help make Hummer EV ready to conquer even the toughest terrains. It's innovation engineered to ensure domination. But Hummer EV is much more than an off-road beast. From the distinctive signature of its 6-bar grille to its micro-optic welcome, walk-away, and battery charging animations, every aspect of the Hummer EV has been designed to look and act unlike anything out there. Hummer EV delivers an unprecedented combination of innovation and luxury. The industry-leading infinity roof, transparent sky panels, and rear drop glass give the Hummer EV an immersive open-air design so you can experience the world like never before, or even the universe for that matter. The first and only one of its kind, Hummer EV. Among the first to own the revolutionary Hummer EV. Reserve your all-electric supertruck now at gmc.com.
Hi there, I'm Technical Editor Casey Caldwell, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Cadillac ELR. But yeah, before we take it out on the open road, we gotta unplug it. So we've already had a really extensive look at this car, but that was all static, and we're excited to get behind the wheel and actually see what it's like to drive. ELR, there's basically 4 driving modes that it's set up for: Tour, Sport, Mountain, and Hybrid. Tour is your everyday, that's kind of the default. Sport mode changes some throttle mapping. There's no throttle. Well, there's a throttle on the internal combustion engine, but you know, it changes the accelerator mapping and changes the dampers. Mountain basically is a mode to make sure there's always enough charge in the battery so that when you're in range extending mode, you actually have enough juice in the battery to make it up hills. Basically just more regen. Hold mode basically just maintains your state of charge in the battery. So if you say wake up in the morning and you have a 30-mile commute, but the first 10 miles is all highway, you might say, okay, put it in hold mode because it's actually a little more efficient to be using the gas engine. And so you could put it in hold mode and it'll keep that full charge and keep your EV range maxed out. And then when you get off the highway, you throw it back in Tour, and you're running as an EV, strictly EV. ELR actually goes down the highway great. It's quiet, smooth, with the variable dampers and hyper strut suspension. I mean, even with the 20-inch wheels, it's still pretty quiet, and part of that is using Bose noise canceling technology. It just kind of cancels out some of the the background noise, the droney stuff. It works. It really does. We've had demonstrations from Bose, and it's pretty shocking how well it works. One cool feature that's just on the ELR is these, what were normally shift paddles, are they call it regen on demand. If I actually just hit it, it's just regenerative braking so much that it's actually illuminating the taillights, which takes a little bit of getting used to, because you kind of go, wait, I'm braking with my hand, and it's totally digital. It's on or off. We tested it just to see actually, what kind of force it would brake the car at, and it's about 0.2 of a G is kind of the max, and that's plenty for one pedal driving around town. Cadillac has stressed dynamics with ELR more so than the Volt by a good bit, and we're just coming out to some of our favorite roads to really analyze it. Switch it over to sport mode. Quickens up the accelerator a little bit and sets the adaptive dampers to a little sportier map. And it also increases the heft in the steering a little bit. Feedback isn't increased at all, but the steering is direct, and it's on center is great. It's not offensive. It's not a sports car, but it's actually rather pleasant. Hustling the car down a nice twisty road. What's lacking in feel and feedback in the conventional brake pedal, you can kind of bolster with the regen on demand. If you just want to scrub a little bit of speed, you can just give it a little bit of the regen. Man, I'm doing it right now. And the body control is, you know, rather spectacular. There's no extra undulation after bumps, and it kind of rolls over a little bit, comes back to form nicely, and it's tuned well, to say the very least. Definitely, it's tuned beyond what the powertrain can deliver, which makes it that much better to drive at any speed. So there it is. That's the ELR. Overall, it's a really nice car for what it is. It's kind of the uppercut that Cadillac's looking for to catapult them into that exclusivity that they were known for many years ago. The car looks great, and you know, that's kind of step one in evoking emotion from buyers. You know, if it looks great, people are going to want it. If it's cheap, you're going to sell a ton of them. If it's really expensive, you're going to sell a few, and it's going to be exclusive, and that is exactly what Cadillac's trying to do with this. The price is definitely going to keep it exclusive. So the back seat kind of has this funky 40-20-40 split layout. You can fold both of the seats down to increase your luggage capacity, basically just for longer stuff, because no matter what, this spine is fixed and you can't move it. So as you can see, headroom's a bit of a premium back here. Kids absolutely won't have a problem. Short guys are okay. I don't know what else. You said you didn't want me talking. Here, I'll be quiet.
We're gonna give the trucks a moment. Give the trucks a moment. All right. All right. Welcome to the Tesla semi truck event. I hope you like.
The personal transportation industry has been shaken up over the past decade or so, with the introduction of electric cars proving to be more environmentally friendly and, importantly, cheaper to run than their petrol or diesel counterparts. Bike manufacturers are also working on the transition in the motorcycle segment. While this change has been taking place, trucking has been continuing unchanged in the background. Our food, household goods, and even electric car parts have been transported by diesel power, just like they have been from the start, while the industry has grown to be worth $700 billion in the US alone, more than many of the world's countries' GDPs. With the huge weights involved, electrifying the trucking industry has taken a back seat due to the impracticality. But at the end of 2017, 3 years ago, Tesla announced plans to change this with the Semi, a fully electric truck designed to shake up the shipping industry. To understand why this hasn't been done before, we need to understand trucking history. The average haulage firm has each Semi on the road for up to 50,000 miles each year. And while the average fuel efficiency figure is no more than 10 miles per gallon, their benefits far outweigh petrol power. We're talking more energy per litre of fuel and up to a 20% decrease in fuel usage. Factors that can have a huge difference to running costs over a series of years. The torque range sits lower in the revs than a petrol engine, meaning higher gears can be selected for further improvements to fuel efficiency. Finally, a lower engine speed means less wear on moving parts, meaning diesel engines can last for hundreds of thousands of miles before a major service. So there we have it. Diesel engines are the most efficient for pulling multiple tons of goods. And that's a wrap on today. Not so quick. Elon Musk walked into the room and instantly made all diesel-powered haulage look prehistoric by comparison to his latest proposition, the Semi. A quick glance at this new electric truck and you would be forgiven for thinking that it was any other normal truck, modified to be super aerodynamic. But delve a little deeper, and this is a Tesla through and through. A single seat occupies the center of the cockpit, a rare driving position that challenges convention yet provides improved visibility and perceived control over the vehicle. Sitting so high, the windshield acts as a magnet for road debris, of which there is enough to go round. Each Semi gets its fair share of damage from different types of debris, with windshields needing replacement almost every year on average. Although not bomb-proof, something that Musk showed us firsthand unintentionally at the launch of the Cybertruck, Tesla's armor glass will undoubtedly reduce the amount of damage upon impact. Drag for the Semi has been reduced to 0.36, a massive engineering feat that places the lorry ahead of even the Bugatti Chiron, a hypercar with a drag coefficient of 0.38. This is almost unheard of in the haulage industry, where current models achieve a figure in the region of 0.65 to 0.70. A pair of 15-inch touchscreen displays sit either side of the driver, with software running live vehicle information, mapping, and even virtual wing mirrors, with live imagery coming from side-mounted cameras, yet another break from convention that proves to be more aerodynamic and safer with a wider field of view. As ever, the company's variety of sensors and cameras will aid in driver safety. The list includes autonomous emergency braking, lane keep assist, and forward collision warning. Further to this, wireless communication between vehicles will allow for automatic platooning, a tactic used by lorry drivers that reduces drag and improves efficiency by lining up multiple HGVs in close succession. Elon Musk said that full self-driving, something that costs $10,000 on the Model 3, could cost upwards of $100,000 in the Semi due to the sheer size difference and safety factors of a 44-ton 18-wheeler. The Semi's capabilities are thanks partly due to its twin rear axle setup, with each of the four wheels housing a 271 horsepower Model 3 motor. For the mathematicians among us, that's a total of 1,084 horsepower sent through the rear wheels. While a 300-mile model will be offered, it's likely that most haulage firms will opt for the model with a 500-mile range. That means capacities of about 600 and 1,000 kilowatt-hours. That's more than 10 times what the Model 3 long range offers. In fact, Elon Musk shared his cost-cutting secret that the Semi is in fact built largely on parts borrowed from the Model 3. With 4 independent motors on each rear wheel, total torque control can be achieved, which ultimately helps prevent one of the most dangerous and common phenomena in truck driving, jackknifing. Constant analysis of the state of the truck means that the Semi is virtually impossible to jackknife. With current battery technology, that would mean that the Semi would weigh more than the average 10-ton lorry cab, which would threaten the total load that companies could carry due to the 44-ton weight limit set out purely for safety reasons. But we're not talking about current battery technology in the Tesla Semi. We're talking next-generation advanced systems with class-leading energy efficiency. The breakthrough tabless battery design is likely to feature, or at minimum, concepts from it. Key to Tesla's success will be in its rolling out of megachargers. These will charge to about 80% in 30 minutes. That's the equivalent of 400 miles on the range-topping model. Charging takes place via a new 10-pin type of connector. This likely has something to do with the battery pack, or should we say packs, as it's expected that 4 separate battery packs will help regulate charging better. Equally as important is the placement of megachargers. A day in the life of a truck driver sees the passing of 500 to 700 miles, which means service stations and overnight stops are a must for megachargers. But recent years have seen this distance decrease as more and more distribution centers form a network of shorter routes across the world. But it goes further than this. The time spent loading the trailer is the perfect opportunity to top up on a few hundred miles. And it's possible that companies will strike deals with the automaker to install chargers at their own facilities. A concept like this would pay for itself over time by reducing the time needed for drivers to stop on the roads. Already ahead of its time in terms of safety, technology, and emissions, it's understandable why Walmart has signed a contract for 130 Tesla Semis in the future, UPS for 125, Pepsi for 100, and brewing company Anheuser-Busch is 40. they will have paid $150,000 for 300-mile models or a further $30,000 for 500-mile models, potentially tens of thousands of dollars more than the equivalent diesel-powered offerings from Volvo, Mercedes and Scania. But that doesn't matter at all. Companies are willing to fork out as much as needed, so long as the overall cost of operation gets reduced over the vehicle's lifetime, and boy are they in for a treat. 750,000 miles can be covered by a single truck before it ends up in truck heaven, over a period of more than a decade. This can cost a company anywhere in the region of $250,000 or more in fuel alone, and almost this much again, if not more, in repairs. And while electricity costs would not be too dissimilar, probably costing around $200,000, it's the repairs where companies will save the majority of their money. Teslas are already known for their longevity, with CEO Elon Musk tweeting photos of transmission and other car parts lasting 1 million miles. It's safe to assume then that very little work will need to be done on the Semi thanks to significantly fewer moving parts than a diesel alternative. Added to this the fact that motorway miles are regarded to be much more forgiving than miles driven in towns and cities. Tesla themselves conservatively claim that fuel savings will be upwards of $200,000, while the extra money forked out to buy the Semi in the first place will be made back in as little as 2 years. It's no surprise then that by 2025, it's expected that 52,000 electric lorries will be on our roads delivering goods in a more environmentally friendly way than ever before. That's an increase of 26 times from the current estimated 2,000. Tesla Semis have already been spotted both in testing and in operation by eager petrol heads, or should we say electric heads. One photo surfaced of a Tesla Semi transporting Model Ys near the Fremont factory in California. We're told that the Semi will be produced alongside some Model 3s and Model Ys, as well as the up-and-coming Cybertruck in the Austin, Texas Terrafactory. Bill Gates reportedly said that electrifying the cargo industry would be impossible, including lorries, ships and planes, but Elon Musk has just made one of these possible, while making it hugely appealing both financially and environmentally for companies across the world. Backed up by Tesla's over-the-air updates, the Semi will challenge the lifespan of traditional trucks and is already shaking up the industry without having officially launched. If the impossible has been made possible, all we want to know is where Musk is heading next. Could it be that his personal mission is to disprove Bill Gates? Might we see electric planes and ships on the horizon? It's unlikely that this will happen anytime soon, but one thing's for certain. Elon Musk rewrites every industry he walks into, and the future of long-distance trucking has already begun its second phase.
Tesla is expected to show off a self-driving electric semi-truck next month, and a new report reveals just how long it may hold a charge. Reuters reports that this battery-powered big rig would have a working range of 200 to 300 miles. That means these trucks are good for regional deliveries, but it won't be doing long hauls between states. Tesla chief executive Elon Musk has promised we'll see a prototype in September, teasing it back in April in a tweet. But he's also talked about the concept since last summer. As for the self-driving part, it wouldn't be the first. That honor belongs to Freightliner, which has been testing self-driving semi-trucks on public roads in Nevada since 2015. There's also a startup company called Change. It's working on electric delivery vans. But Tesla's big rig could have some extra pizzazz, at least when it comes to entertaining drivers. There are separate reports that the company is working on its own music streaming service for its electric cars. And for the first time, we're seeing screenshots that offer more proof. The blog Electric found hidden code for something called T-Tunes in the car's media app update. I'm Bridget Carey, and for all the Musk No news, head to CNET.com.